with official figures showing the number of public loos disappearing from our towns and villages. At the turn of the millennium in England and Wales, there were just over 6,000 public toilets. But fast forward 21 years later, and the number had fallen to 3,940, a drop of 35%. And new figures show the latest numbers have fallen further still to 3,700.
This massive decline is affecting people with disabilities, families with young children, itinerant workers and like post office and healthcare workers, whatever, and how it's affecting, local economies, local businesses, local tourism, visitor numbers.
Toilet humour may often raise a cheap laugh. Many people in this part of the world are relieved that the public conveniences are staying open for now. But access to the loo for many people is no laughing matter. Miles Davis, BBC News, Devon.
So with us here on the sofa, Gail Ramsden co-created a database of accessible toilets called Toilet Map. Give us a sense of the scale of the problem. We heard some of the figures there about the drop in the number of public toilets.
Yeah, and this drop has been very consistent since 2000, so there's just a very steady decline to this figure of 3,000 that we have now. And that's 40% over 25 years. It's massive. To understand what that actually looks like in different communities, it becomes a very local problem. So have those toilets closed because no one was using them? Quite often we've lost faith in public toilets, that they'll be there or that they'll be clean enough for us to want to use them. And maybe there's been an alternative, so the toilet in the shopping centre or in the train station. But in some cases, maybe there isn't an alternative. And if, say, a village or a nice part of coastline or a town centre doesn't have a public toilet anymore, then that's a massive problem for the people that live there and those that visit.
And it was documented a little bit in that report, but is there any kind of a legal requirement for a place to have a public toilet?
Not for councils to provide them. So councils are allowed to provide public toilets, but they don't have to provide public toilets, and they are very expensive. They're never going to make a profit. So if councils need to make savings in order to provide the services that they do have to provide, the public toilets will always be under threat.
What's the impact of not having public toilets on the environment?
Oh, on the environment, it's not great.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
It's very unpleasant town centres, and that is an expense in itself to clean up. But
it just makes me wonder which is more expensive.
Yeah.
You know, the horrible atmosphere of, certain places. You know what it's like. There are no loos. You know there are certain areas where people might relieve themselves.
Yeah.
And it stinks and it's horrible and it brings down the tone of the town. That in itself needs to be worked on by the council.
Yeah.
Or you have a toilet.
Yes. And toilets have this bad image in our country as being somewhere that's disgusting and associated with waste, but really we could think of them as like a well-being centre. It's somewhere to clean yourself. It's somewhere that you should emerge feeling better than when you went in and not worse, as we so often do. It could have drinking water, it could have flower beds and maps and benches and be the heart of a community.
It's clearly not the answer to the problem, Gail, but on the whole, people's attitude, as in establishments' attitude, if you go in and you say, do you mind if I use the toilet? Yeah. A cafe, a bar, a restaurant, whatever. Do you hear anecdotally that has that become more OK, given there are fewer public toilets?
No, I don't think so. And